Today we have four little bits of JWE related news, including a leak. We're going to start with the Mutadon trailer that just came out, the species profile or whatever you want to call it. I mean, the lighting looks really good on the wing. I'll give them that. Okay. Let's pause and talk about that briefly. So, the hope is that these guys are truly carnivorous because they're listed on the website as not piscivores. It says specifically like carnivore or live prey, which is different than how all the pterosaurs are listed. So this might be the first aviary animal that actually has a different diet, which would be great. It'd be better if they went back and fixed all the other animals that should be, you know, explicitly predatory or herbivorous, the Asdarchids and the Tapajarids, but I will take a sign that things are moving in a more interesting direction with pterosaur diets, at least. And yeah, good shot there at the beginning of the open air aviary, kind of just with this like bog in here. You could turn off this this layer, this force field. You can hide that, so that you can build like modular builds that look more like a proper uncontained aviary. So that's cool. I appreciate at least that the weird sci-fi force field is not required. I don't think either of those details was mentioned in my previous video, so figured I'd throw them in here. And yeah, this like shot here of kind of like the light almost shining through the wing membrane is pretty good. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a banger animal in terms of like quality, you know, of the production. I just really hate the Mutadon, which puts it in such an awkward position if it actually does end up being like objectively the best aviary species. They didn't fix the feet. Look at that. They still haven't bothered putting in two-toed raptor tracks. Every theropod leaves three-toed prints. It's such a small thing. Surely somebody could fix this in an afternoon, right? Maybe not because it's all the different terrain types that can maybe leave footprints, but well, I guess it's just really kind of sand and mud, isn't it? This bothers me an unnecessary amount. But I do wish this would get fixed. All right, there it is. So, yeah, I don't have much else to add about that. About what I expected. They're probably saving the Distortus for last, so I suppose starting with the Mutadon makes sense. All right. All right, first thing we got is the leaked achievements list that has been revealed. We've got, we'll go through all the achievements here one by one. First one is You Want Me, lure 10 dinosaurs with the flare. I mean, we know how that works already. Not your first expedition, huh? Analyze at least 10 different species with a deep analyzer. So these two achievements just serve to be, you know, like things that utilize the new mechanic and give you a little easy achievement for actually utilizing it a bit. Nothing too special. After that, we have engineered entertainments. Release an animal with 3 different experimental traits. That one's pretty interesting because we don't know how these experimental traits work quite yet in terms of adding them to the animal. So this serves as confirmation that you can have more than one experimental trait on an animal, which was by no means guaranteed. My first inclination looking at this is I wonder if this is if these traits are just kind of being added to the existing genetic system, right? So if you have, you know, 12 points to distribute an animal, you've currently got the set of what, 14 genes or whatever it is now, and these will just be another 8 added to that in the UI, and you use the same points for both maybe. So then you could pick 3 of the 8 experimental traits, crank them up with 4 pips apiece, and guarantee this 3 trait release. But by no means is that guaranteed. This could also just be some sort of on-off toggle you just add to the animal separate from the main mod system, and maybe they have a chance of happening or something. Could be anything. But definitely a new piece of information here, and that you can have more than one. That's kind of our specialty. Achieve 5 stars on every Ile Saint Hubert research site. That makes sense. That's a pretty standard achievement for this game. May or may not be a terrible idea. Release an Aqualops with an experimental trait. Complete the Aqualops assignment. So these assignments, these are basically just missions under a different label, right? So this is essentially like a story contract, or contracts or missions, whatever. This is essentially a story contract, but I think the thing with the assignments is you're going to have like a set you can pick from which ones you want to do, and you don't have to do them in any particular order. So it's kind of just a set of objectives that you can just mix and match and approach in whatever you know, whatever priority you want to assign to it. Abnormalities, comma, deviations, and close 2 Mutadons together. Complete the companion assignment. Again, another one of these. So we'll pick up this assignment to try to cohab Mutadons, which I imagine is gonna. Well, I guess there was 2 in the film, right? Was there 2 in the film in the gas station scene? I don't remember. Maybe it was just one chasing him around. Huh? I don't know. Well, anyway, we'll have to do that. This research is crucial. Complete all priority assignments. I assume the priority ones are then the core objective ones, like the main storyline, right? Whereas the regular assignments are going to be these like secondary ones that you can easily just slot in wherever, that don't directly tie into the main story. Like they said this in the website or whatever, right? That these have like story consequences, but they can be done kind of in like whatever order. Sciences for all of us. Complete all standard assignments. Oop, that's down here. Sorry, I didn't scroll the video down. Yeah. The last one is sciences for all of us. Complete all standard assignments. So that is going to be, like the Aqualops and Mutadon ones above. I think they told us how many of these there were, but I don't remember. And then lastly, we've got these 2. Laboratory of Sorts, gain access to all research sites on Ile Saint Hubert. So these are presumably unlocking the 3 maps. Very redundant to have 5-star the maps and unlock the maps, but like they got to have achievements for something, I guess. So sure. And then a true Colossus, analyze a juvenile Titanosaurus, complete the Valley Giants assignment. So 3 of these optional assignments have achievements associated with them. 1 for each species except for the Distortus, and the Distortus is probably some sort of standard or priority assignment would be my guess. It would make sense for them to have an achievement for each animal, which is maybe what this hidden one is, right? Or 2 hidden ones, maybe that's what this is saying. Maybe it's complete the campaign and then like do the Distortus priority mission. I would expect that maybe that's what these are. It would make some sense. All right, so that's the leak. Now we'll move on to a couple more official, semi-official announcements coming from maybe not news sources, but coming from internal things, if that makes sense. So if you were wondering about what the future of the game looks like after the Rebirth DLC, worry not. You should not have been worried. Like, it would have been insane for this game to end after the Rebirth DLC with only 2 DLC packs. But if you were concerned, here we have a statement from Frontier, like an internal, like shareholder type statement that came out today that basically just confirms that, JWE3 is not done yet. There's more DLC coming in this fiscal year. And so theoretically we should be looking forward to content well into next year. And like, again, I'm going to stress this. This is not really news. You shouldn't have been concerned. You should have expected there to be more content coming, especially now that like the embargo, like the silence stopped, right? Now that whatever was going on with legal at Universal is over with and they're back to posting, there should have been no concern that the game was done. But this confirms that. And finally, the last piece of news is a set of new trademark filings from Frontier. So, recently, I believe this was through Planet Zoo 2 events, Frontier confirmed they're working on a new Planet game. They have now filed a trademark for that game, and in an effort to hide from people what exactly that game is before they're ready to properly announce it, they have filed an additional 8 trademarks for other imaginary Planet games. right? So one of these 9 is the new Planet game. The other 8 are, call them placeholders, call them decoys. They are names for games that will not exist, right? And the reason this is interesting is, as you could see here up at the very top, 2 of these 8 are paleo games, which would be successors for Jurassic World Evolution 3 that are non licensed. I personally think these 2 are guaranteed decoys because I would assume Frontier has non-compete clauses in their agreements to Universal where they can't just come right off the back of JWE3 and release their own dinosaur game. But it's possible the lawyers messed that up somehow and Frontier can do that. Um, but I also would feel like if the upcoming game was going to be a Paleo Planet game, that they also wouldn't be in a position to reveal it anytime soon. And I feel like the fact that they started talking about and teasing a new Planet game means that like a reveal is maybe not imminent, but upcoming. The reveal I feel like would have to be coming up before the end of JW3's lifespan, right? Because theoretically JW3 should go for like maybe 2 years yet. I don't remember exactly how long JWE2 went from release to the final DLC release, but you would expect a ballpark lifespan of JWE3 of being like 2 years in content releases. And so if this was a planet prehistoric or a planet dinosaur, then I doubt we actually find that out for quite a while. Let's look through these though. So I'm not going to zoom this in because it's too hard to zoom this in and scroll it on the video. You might be able to zoom it in there and see those, but we'll just read them out. So these are all UK trademarks. So they all have status examination, mark type. Is that word or world? I can't read the image. It's word. Then mark text, which is the name of the game, the file date, which is June 8th, 2026, and class is 9,41. I believe these are all the same. No, some of these are different. What does that mean? So the classes thing might be interesting because one of these specifically is 918. Is that a clue? If anybody knows UK trademark stuff, chime in on the comments on what a Class 18 trademark is. So the first one is Planet Farm. Second one is Planet Resort. Third one is Planet Festival. Planet Festival is the one that has a different class. It is specifically Class 18. The others are all Class 41. Followed by Planet Vacation, Planet Dinosaur, Planet Prehistoric, Planet Fantasy, Planet Mythical Creatures, Planet Dragon. So, another interesting thing here, these follow kind of a trend you may have noticed. So we start with Farm, Resort, Festival, Vacation, which are all kind of, park adjacent things that fit into like the park manager type, experience or the manager gameplay experience in some form or another. Followed by 2 prehistoric ones. These are I'm highly suspect these are simply decoys based on the fact that Frontier is known for JWE, so it was really easy for them to assume people would speculate on a Frontier IP dinosaur game coming out, so they threw in a couple of these. And then the last 3 are interesting because it's Fantasy, Mythical Creatures, and Dragon, which is all, again, another grouping themed around a very specific thing. I don't know what that would be for a Planet game. Are you going to run a dragon theme park? A zoo filled with, like, animals from fantasy? Like, hard to piece together exactly what that would be. These feel like decoys to me as well. Not to mention that the name Planet Mythical Creatures is like hideously awful. That's such a mouthful. That is a terrible name for a game. Planet Dragon feels way too niche to be a thing, unless it's some weird like dragon breeding simulator or something weird. I just don't really buy that. I guess one argument for this one would be that maybe like Planet Fantasy is the game. And then since that is like actually the game, they wanted some decoys that were very similar to like conceal that, which is why they cooked up Mythical Creatures and Dragon. But at the same time, if you apply, like uh like multiple choice test taking logic to that. The fact that there's 3 games that specifically reference fantasy would be like a giveaway for the fantasy one being real, and that's like pretty obvious. So I feel like it's just one of the first 4: farm, resort, or festival, or vacation. And maybe it's festival because that one has a different class for some reason, whatever that means. Well, hey, these are actually easy to look up. I think there's something to this. So, class. If we look up class 9, which is what all of these have, class 9. It says scientific research, navigation, blah blah blah, which sounds not like what we're looking for. But then if you scroll down, game software for use of video game consoles, game software. So that's why these are all 9. Okay, that makes sense. What is 41? Class 41. Education, providing of training, entertainment, sporting, and cultural activities. Game shows, arcade game services, video game arcade services, rental, poker, rental of arcade video games, game services, escape game, video game, blah blah blah. So this is maybe DLC provides like counts as game services or something here. Could be, maybe, hard to say. This is the weird one. Class 18. Leather and imitation of leather, animal skins and hides, luggage and carrying bags, umbrellas and parasols, walking sticks, game bags. What? So, highly speculatory comment here. Maybe this is just a typo. Maybe it's supposed to be 41 and somehow they typed 18. But what if this is the real thing? And they have like a deluxe edition or a pre-order edition with a bag? This feels very speculatory. Let's look at view all. Whips and harnesses. Yeah, that's probably it. Collars, leashes, clothing for animals. Yeah, I mean, game bags stood out to me as a thing. So this could be... but would you really put like a pre-order bonus in the trademark class? I don't know about that. Huh. Also, like, each of them has 2. Is like the limit 2. You pick like the 2 that are most like applicable to the trademark. Because like theoretically, Planet Festival should also have class 41, right? It should be like, if this was true, it would be like 94118 maybe, and not just 918. I don't know. I don't know enough about UK trademark law, so I can't comment further, but this is definitely interesting. Anyway, that's kind of all the news here, so let's end it with that. A little mystery, a little treat for the future, a little mystery for us to solve together.